Guys, I know it's been forever since we did Ladies' Choice, and that's because I think I started this new story when it was, I think it was like finals week. So therefore, I think I stopped it. But here we are. I think I'm here. Arabella's so worried. So I have to say, out of the 3 stories you can have, this is probably the most boring. And when I first got this game, I think I chose the Lord Stanton, but it's still worth it. I can't remember everything that happens, but it's like the least entertaining out of like the 3, like compared to Larry and what's his name, Guy Blake. But you know, it's still fun. I played this story before I started recording walkthroughs, so I figured I would finish this one. So she's upset. I'll put the link for part 1 of this story down below. Arabella continues to frown as she paces in front of the window. I've forgotten to pick up my order from the shop. Her frown deepens as she draws to a stop. So I think we already chose to, a bit of a recap. We already chose to, it's that scene where it's like, we have to choose who we'll spend our time with this season, which I think just means like the summer. And we chose obviously Lord Stanton. But my chores are too many to retrieve it, and I cannot ask Johnson as I sent him out already. He will not return for hours at least. I would, like, in this day and age, you'd be like, we'll just call him, but there's no telephones. Just be like, can you pick this up? So we're gonna have to do it. What am I to do? She throws stuff down onto the seat, pinching the bridge of her nose. That's kind of a weird way to show that she's upset. Don't you think? I slowly closed my book and set it down on the table. That was terribly veiled way of asking me to pick up your package. Rose, you're so freaking sassy. I hate it when people are just like, what am I to do? Because they just want you to do it. It's like, oh my god. Tell her, Rose. She rolls her head aside and smiles at me. Don't you smile at me. It is only because you know me so well, Rose, I am sure to have fooled anyone else. Then tell me what it is I am retrieving and where it is I am going to get it. Rose, we should just be like, hell nah. Arabella pulls herself from her seat and places her arms around my shoulders. I could not ask for a better friend, even if I should have had 2 sisters. It is not far to the jewelry shop Arabella made her order with, and I pick up her new brooch. Is that supposed to be brooch? I never heard of a brooch before. With little fuss. But the warmth of the sun and the unusual quietness of the town slow my steps to a wander. I pass the shops, staring in at the wares, sparkling necklaces, shimmering ribbons, and even a pair of blue satin boots which catch my eye. Get the boots! Get the boots! Get the boots! None are enough to tempt me out of the bright day, though, and I continue on with little thought to my path. Oh, so we just are having a nice stroll. We're gonna run into our man, I bet you. It is not until thick shade makes me shiver that I come to my senses. Oh, I should probably let you guys hear the music. What does it say? Finding myself in an unfamiliar and less than pleasant looking side street. Straightening myself out, I continue forwards as best I can. I'll let you guys hear the serious music. Hold on. Forwards. I love that. But as I walk, the people sitting against the aged walls stare at me, some shuffling to their feet with curious and far more inspecting glances than I would care for. Thankfully, few interfere with my path, and I can see familiar buildings at the end of the shadowed street. Well, what a rare thing to see! I quickly come to stop as a rough-dressed man steps out in front of me, blocking my exit. Excuse me. Oh, look at that face. Look at that face. I try to pass by him, but he moves in front of me once again. Who the hell is this? An unnerving stranger. Now, no need to be in such a rush. His gaze jumps to the package in my hand. I see you in town on the search for wares. What? Okay. He grins, a mouthful of blackened teeth revealed behind his cracked lips. Just happens I have some beautiful items as a distinguished woman such as yourself would be interested in. No. What? Are you selling knives? Would you like to buy some knives? He gestures to the side where a splintered wooden box is placed a variety of dulled necklaces and brooches thrown inside of it. I'm not shopping for you today. Out of my way. You could say, I'm afraid none would suit me. Say nothing and walk by. I'm just gonna say nothing. With a frown, I make to step past the man without saying a word, only for him to take a sharp step to block my retreat. Am I not fit enough for you to deign me with the reply? I'm just trying to leave and not hurt your feelings. The man's hand snaps out and grips my arm before attempting to drag me over to the box of his wares. Just take a closer look. No. How about I stab you with your and choke? Well, I'll choke you with your necklaces. My attempts to struggle free are useless, just as I am wondering how much damage my soft shoes would do if I slammed them down on his foot. Yes, a familiar voice reaches through the alley. I love Rose so much. She is a queen. You there? Yes, our man is coming to save us. I actually don't remember this part of the story, so I'm surprised because I played this so long ago. We both whip our heads around to see Lord Stanton striding towards us. The man's grip on my arm falters as he looks over Stanton's stature. Oh, that's a mouthful. And stern expression. So we got a stern Stanton stature. Ooh. But he continues to keep hold of me. Ew. Young lady and I were just speaking business, which is none of yours, sir. Look at our man. Sharp-dressed man. Stanton gives a stiff smile. The lady already seems to be encumbered with goods. Let us not force more on her, shall we? There should be a question mark there, but whatever. I'm not the editor for this. Though he keeps smiling, Stanton's grip on his cane tightens in warning. This stranger casts his narrowed gaze between us before he finally shoves me away. I suppose there are better customers. Yeah. Indeed, I'm sure there will be. Shall I proceed on, Miss Smythe? I take his arm, hoping he won't notice my fingers trembling slightly, and we walk at a fast pace down the alleyway and into the relief of the main street. While my nerves have settled, I turn my face to Stanton, who has rather casual air considering what just occurred. You have most impeccable timing. I'm just going to say thank you for your help. I must thank you most profusely for your help back there, Lordy. Lord. Think nothing of it. Ooh, look at the smile. But I must think of it. You did a great service when I was in need. Let's start flirting, Rose. Let's flirt. His broad smile softens to a more serious one, and I feel a sudden heat begin to rise to my cheeks. Ooh. I quickly glance away. He clears his throat, and a strange silence was beginning to fall between us as we walk. Though I know little of fashion these days, I would advise against seeking goods from that street in the future. It was not my intention to find that street. She's like, don't worry, it was a crappy street. Okay. I was picking up a package for Arabella when I found myself wandering farther than intended. Though your advice would suggest you know that street well. Is that like a low dig, Rose? Oh, we're on cheese ale. I love it. His brows clenched together, and he quickly looks away, his arm tensing beneath my hand. But whatever emotion had made him so easy soon passes to be masked with a smile. I was simply walking past the alleyway when I heard that man's rather unsavory voice. When I saw you in the shadows, I realized what must be happening. So, made my way to you. Are you often so vigilant about ladies in distress? I give him a smile, hoping to lighten the conversation. It's not a usual pastime of mine. But the opportunity to walk with you was too tempting to let pass by. Ooh, this time my idea will hide the blush on my cheeks. Stanton seems surprised by his own bold words and fixes his gaze ahead of us once again. You are quite unlike any lady I have ever met in society, Miss Smythe. Well, thank you. Oh, how so? You have very genial support of nature. Nailed it. I know. That is rare in any I have met before. I mean, like, genuine, basically. It is indeed a pleasure to know someone who can be so cordial in so many situations. Also, the very fact you do not seem the least perturbed by walking with me in public says much. I feel like we needed, like, a comma there, but you truly seem less concerned with others' opinions and set on forming your own mind. Yes. Open-mindedness. Don't believe everything people say. That's a song that I just made up now, so you're welcome. It is unfair for people to assume someone's character. I would never have anyone tell me what I should believe. I enjoy being able to find people's faults myself. Listening to the opinions of others can be... No, it can't. No. Yes, Queen. I would never have anyone tell me what I should believe. My opinion is mine, and I will never be swayed by what others say it should be. I am most glad to hear it, especially as it's such a benefit to me. I raised a brown questioning of his words. Had you taken the views of those around you, I would not be able to enjoy the benefit of your company. Then it is of benefit to me, too. Once again, I find it difficult to look away from his capturing gaze. It's not until the rallying of the carriage beside us make me blink and we both look away from each other. A few moments later, I continued the conversation, realizing it is not long until we reach my house. You speak of society as though you despise it, so why attend events at all? It's not society that I dislike. It is just the vile glee they take in bringing down others so quickly with so little knowledge of truths. Yes, say it louder for the people in the back. Also, my family enjoys the outings, even with being so tarnished in their own reputation for the fact of merely being related to me. If you are so concerned with their well-being, then why participate in such things that would cause them harm? It's difficult to phrase the question, but I can see he understands my meaning by the downturned expression on his face. Some things are not so simple. You should think about their needs more than your habit. Some things are worth more than a bet. Gambling is fun now, but what will it give you in the end? Oh yeah, because he's like a gambler. That's right. Ooh, well, I don't know if I want to say any of these things. Should I say some things are worth more than a bet? That's his brow creasing deeply. Your words hold a truth I've carried for many years. I open my mouth to ask what he means when he suddenly draws to a stop. This is your residence, is it not? We look like we live in a prison. Like, huh? I wonder for a moment how he would know. Until I notice Arabella eagerly peeking through the curtains at the window. She's gonna be like, girl, why were you walking with that man? And I'm gonna say, he saved me from an unsavory, unnerving stranger. I don't know why I'm so musical right now, but whatever. Yes, it is. I have much enjoyed our walk and conversation with Smythe. Kiss me, you fool. I'm joking. It has been many years since I've talked so freely with someone outside of my own family. Would you care to come inside for tea, Lord Stanton? It would only be fair to do so to thank you for your help earlier. For some reason, I feel rather eager to keep his company. I shake away the thought and glance up at him. That is most kind, but I'm afraid that he shifts uneasily on the spot before giving me a smile. I'm afraid I have another pressing engagement. It's then I notice he is turning something over in his hands. It is a business card, one with the 4-card suits drawn on it. Oh, okay, the suits. Even after our previous conversation, it is the card tables which are on his mind. Yeah, of course, I understand. I pull my hand back from his arm and turn to stand before him. Another time, then? Most definitely. His smile a little with what I can only guess is shame before he dips into a deep bow and strides off back in the direction we came. It kind of had a nice ring to it. While I watch him leave, a small pang of disappointment lodging itself in my chest before I also turn and head away. She's gonna be like, girl. The moment I enter the drawing room, Arabella nearly pounces upon me. Girl, take a step back. Take a step back. Girl, take a step back. I was truly faint with worry when you were gone so long. I was getting your shit, Arabella. Oh my gosh. At least just say thank you, Arabella. Jeez. I'm sorry to have caused you alarm, Arabella. Move away from her and take a seat calmly, letting her curiosity stew for a moment. Let it stew, girl. It's only a few seconds before she can take it no longer, throws herself onto the seat next to me. Ooh, girl, calm down. Oh, do not be so silent, Rose. Silence. You must know I saw you in Lord Stanton. Yeah, I saw you in the window, you peepin' Tom. You peepin' whatever. You peepin' Bella. Walking. Together. In public. That's a nice trick. I found myself in trouble and healed it. We were enjoying each other's conversation. It was only a walk. I found myself, yeah, he helped me. What? I found myself in a little trouble and he was kind enough to stop and help me. Are you hurt? Are you ill? I have a sentimental illness. Do not worry, I am quite well. He simply offered to escort me home after, and I couldn't very well refuse. Something tells me you wouldn't have, even if you could have. I do not dare to think what you could mean. She placed a gentle hand on my leg, true concern on her features. You'll be careful, though, won't you, Rose? Enjoying the scandal of others is one thing, but I would not forgive myself if you were to become the topic of it. The prying eye of society can be a terrifying thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to remind you of your own experience with it. That is past history now, best laid away with my poor Rupert. But even with that, with what? Everyone said about him, you still proceeded with the marriage. I did. It may have been foolish, and sometimes I regretted it. Ooh, so I won't forget what we had. So why can't I have my love? I don't care if it's scandalous. Scandalous is my middle name, okay? I'm Rose Scandalous. I'm Rebel Rose Scandalous Smythe, okay? That's what it is. It's my name. Then you, of all people, should be, yeah, exactly, should be less harsh in your judgments only because of what others say. But that was my decision. Okay. Do I want to see you marred? Or live a life of such uncertainty? She thinks I'm uncertain. I just talked to a guy, and I was like, hey, you cute. I like your top hat. And thanks for helping me not get killed by a street vendor who probably has rabies. Talk as if I'm tied to the man, Arabella. Thank you. Rose thinks what we think, because we're Rebel Rose. It really was only a walk. But I did daydream about kissing him. I know, but sometimes a walk can lead to greater things. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. She pats my leg and smiles to break the unease of the conversation. Just tell me you will be careful. I shall be. Then I am pleased. You will be even more so, I imagine, when I give you this. Yeah, went and got your stuff. Because apparently this is like Postmates, but with brooches. I hand over the package she sent me to get, and her face instantly brightens. I'd quite forgotten. She tears open the brown paper, a delicate glimmering brooch, falling out from the shreds. Is it not the most dazzling dazzling thing you've ever laid eyes on? Sorry. I give a small laugh, happy to see all of her previous concern drained away. Next day I have time to myself, though Arabella does not leave me be until I agree upon attending another get-together that evening. Shit. And it's not long before the conversation once again turns to the popular topic of marriage. Because if you're not married by your time you're 12, they're like, oh my gosh, she's a spinster. I'm not wrong. I must admit I was rather disappointed in the failed engagement. Not because I particularly liked the man. I just had hoped to settle my future. Oh my god, what a thing to say, Arabella. What a thing to say. But would it have been such a good idea to settle with someone you didn't even particularly like? Yes, Rose. Yes. Truth. Realness. Rebel Rose. I suppose not. There seems to be few eligible men about this year, though. But what's so weird is, she forms such a close bond with Foxley and, the two other ones, and he's not even in this story. I don't remember Foxley. And I love Foxley. He's such a man. So I guess we only get a man, and it's, forbidden love. So, yeah. I've heard Mr. Gillespie. Gillespie? It looks like Gillespie, almost. Mr. Gillespie is on the search for a wife. Probably call the Sergeant Cooper Little Man marriage material. That's the tea. It is much different for you, though, Lady Ashbourne. You are a baroness and are comfortable in your fortune. You will have plenty of choice of matches, whereas someone in my position cannot afford to be so choosy. Miss Witter's voice shakes slightly at the admittance. Arabella passes me a saddened glance, obviously feeling a little upset about the girl's situation. Really? You're saddened by that, Arabella? I was almost killed by, a street vendor who had black teeth. Black teeth. Okay? And you didn't feel bad. You said, are you ill? Are you hurt? And then you were like, oh my gosh, you were with that man. Ugh, this saddens you. Whatever. But both her previous gloom is soon broken by a smile. What of Lord Stanton? Arabella almost chokes on her drink at the girl's words, and I can't help but chuckle at the reaction. She shakes her head and pats Miss Witter's arm. I would not take a chance on a man with such a reputation. Arabella, you don't even know him. He has quite the top hat collection. He is fresh to death. Miss Witter suddenly leads in a little conspiratorially, and we do the same. The conspiracy? Is that what it's from? I hear some lady is taking the chance on him, though. What do you mean? What have you heard? Who has taken him? I want him. The questions pour from my lips, I'm sorry, in a flustered mass. They both glance at me in confusion of my sudden flurried outburst, so I clear my throat and smile. I am merely curious. My aunt saw him walking with a woman yesterday down the street. Well, I was that woman. I'm really pretty, I know. The lady had apparently linked her arm with his quite openly. It suddenly became obvious who that woman was, remembering my stroll back home with Lord Stanton the day before. Arabella's gaze slides to meet mine, but I quickly glance away. When you gaze at me, I glance away. Did your aunt take note of the lady? Miss Witter shakes her head. She could not tell the lady, as my aunt could only see them from behind. Don't look at my ass, Aunt of Witter. Though she could not mistake Lord Stanton. Well, he is tall, and he has, a very tall top hat as well, so... He is one of the most handsome men in town, after all. Yes, he certainly is that. A nudge to Arabella's elbow curbs my spreading smile. If I had a little more courage, I am sure I would pursue such a match myself. Oh, see, she doesn't care about scandal, Arabella. Take a chill pill, Arabella. Everyone wants some of Stanton. Not everyone wants to admit it, because he's a tall drink of water. He is a snack. The man does not deserve such attention from respectable young women. Arabella, I don't like you right now. Sometimes Arabella can be kind of mean and kind of unfair. We're gonna cancel her. Though she speaks to Miss Witter, I cannot help the feeling she is directing her words at me. What kind of future would you have with a man who's so willing to throw his fortune away? He needs to go to Gamblers Anonymous. It's fine. Everyone has problems. Mine is you right now, Arabella. You're my problem right now. Gambling is a disease that has taken many a young man, and marriage has never been a cure for it. Whatever. I can't help but glance away, a frown pinching at my brow. We don't really know him enough to make that assumption. We shouldn't speak like this of him. We all have our own foibles. Let him have his. You are right. No, I think we should say... this. We shouldn't make that assumption. I don't think we know Lord Stanton enough to make such assumptions of him. Maybe not. She gives a worried frown and lets out a small sigh. Because I'm calling her out on her bullshit. She's like judging somebody she doesn't even know. I know him more than she does, and I spent like 5 minutes with him. But why should Stanton be different from any other person who has succumbed to the evils of that gambling house? Mima on young Sheldon gambles. I don't think she's a terrible person. I straightened my expression, unsure how to reply to her question. There is an understandable lull in the conversation due to the heavy topic. Miss Witter shuffles on the edge of her seat, apparently not understanding the true meaning of the previous words between me and Arabella. Ah, look there, it is Miss Foxley. Oh, I have not seen her in town for years. We must inquire how her children are before she joins in with the dancing. Why? Does she dance the night away the moment she starts? We care about her children? Okay. They stand to leave, and Arabella looks back at me with a smile. Will you come, Rose? I shall join you soon. I'm going to stay behind. Of course, when you are ready. Yeah, I'm an independent woman. Suck it, bitches. The two of them shuffle away. I kid. Through the crowds, to greet the other young woman, bright smiles on their faces once again. I remain in my seat, a sudden flurry of thoughts whirling in my head. I can't deny the surprise at myself for feeling the need to defend Stanton. What have I to say anything of him when I know him so little? Arabella may be right in her assumptions of his character. He did leave the day before to go to the gambling house, so why should I try and deny it? Oh, would you stop thinking about it already? I let out an angry sigh at my own thoughts. Such heavy thoughts are better shared. I gasp a little at the sudden voice I turned my head to find the great Lord stood behind my chair. Lord Stanton, you gave me quite the shock. I apologize. I merely saw you looking so confused and wanted to offer my services if you should need to talk. Aww. That's so nice. I did so enjoy our conversation yesterday after all. All of my sudden thoughts are washed away, and I smile up at him. As did I. His attention shifts to where partners are lining up to dance before he turns to look back at me. Maybe a more energetic distraction is preferable. He gestures toward the dance floor. May I reserve this dance, Miss Smythe? We have not had that opportunity since the opening ball, and back then we did not know each other's names. I place my hand in his before I even realize I have done so. Thank you for the offer, Lord Stanton. He leads me to dance floor, and I am acutely aware of the gazes locked onto us. I thought that they'd be like, dance with him. Don't dance with him. The sharpest of them belonging to Arabella. Oh, what a shock. The melodic tune begins, and we drift closer to each other to begin the dance. I did not think you had made it to tonight's gathering. I'm sure that would have pleased many, and I do like to disappoint them when I can. I give a small laugh, and we split to pass around the back of another couple before meeting again. The gathering is better for you being here. I wish you had been here sooner. Conversation had been dull without you to arouse the gossip. I'm glad you are here. I'm glad you are here. As I am now. This dance is sure to make up for whatever whispers are thrown my way. His sudden captivating smile makes my stomach flutter. Oh. The next moment, we almost forget to step away from each other for the next part of the dance, and nearly collide with the couple beside us. He takes my hand, and we step close together as the dance comes to an end. We still remain together, my body unable and not wanting to move away. 'Cause we want to be near you, Stanton. I swallow hard at the realization he doesn't seem to want to either. I did not plan on coming tonight at all. My family could not make it, so there seemed little point in joining. Then why are you here? He's gonna say, because of you, baby. I took a gamble on someone else being in attendance. And did your gamble pay off? It always does. We're so close I fear he will hear the sudden pounding of my heart as his gaze pierces into my own. His fingers close tighter around mine, the contact washing from my mind, the thought that the music ended long ago. Rose, they you are? You mean there you are? Okay. Arabella's voice suddenly makes me blink from the trance I'd found myself in. Seems to do the same for Stanton as he quickly steps back from me and drops my hand. Arabella comes to stand before us, a tense smile on her face. Lord Stanton, I did not realize you were here tonight. She bobs a small curtsy, and Stanton bows deeply before straightening with a bright smile. I was just explaining to Miss Smythe that it was not in my plans to do so, but I found that something drew me here regardless. He turns his smile to me, and I find I cannot help but return it. He clears his throat and looks back at Arabella. And one has to make an appearance at these kinds of things, don't they? Not always. Arabella, you are rude. Her bright smile is quick. Oh yeah, we're like, shit. Her bright smile is quite obviously forced, and her cutting reply makes my eyes widen. Wow, Bella. I really don't want to be her friend anymore. She's annoying. And she's rude. As Arabella continues to cast an uneasy glare over the man, I realize now would be the best time to intervene. Thank you for the dance. Nudge her to stop. Oh, I believe Lady Steer is calling for us. We should be going. Thank you for the dance. Thank you for the dance, Lord Stanton. It was indeed a great distraction. He smiles at me and drops into a bow. I shall be happy to offer the duty again, whenever it should be needed. I wrap my hand into Arabella's arm and lead her away before she explodes with a comment I'm sure she'll regret. Why being such a bitch, Arabella? Even as we move away, I cannot help but glance back to find his attention still upon me. Yeah. The ride home in the carriage is unusually quiet, Arabella doing her best to keep her opinions to herself. When we arrive home, she remains silent. Oh, look at the fire. I wish Stanton was here. It's romantic in this place. She remains silent, though sweeps into the drawing room like a thundercloud. I cannot help but smile at her, knowing how much she cares, but also how much she wants to interfere. Not that there should be anything for her to interfere with. Exactly. You have been smiling since we left the hall, Rose. I'm happy. You should try it, Arabella. It's really nice. Then you should not make me do so with your obvious need to voice your thoughts. Ooh. You fool yourself if you think that is the reason you smile. What else could it be? I certainly cannot begin to think. A dance, maybe? With a certain gentleman? It was only a dance, Arabella. It was a walk, then it was a dance. Yesterday was only a walk. You worry far more than you should. I worry more than enough for you. She steps closer to me, taking my hands in hers. I would have a little true family if I did not have you. Oh! Wait, so you could say, I know, I feel the same about you, or, but we aren't family. I sometimes care for you, more for you than my own family. That doesn't mean you could tell me how to live. Bitch. That doesn't mean you could tell me how to live, bitch. That doesn't mean you could tell me how to live. Should we be, like, I don't really like Arabella in this story, because she's so, like, I know she's concerned, but she's judging people, and I don't like that. And, like, our character is also, like, against society, so it's like, I don't like this. I want to break free. I would say that doesn't mean you could tell me how to live. Boom. She drops her gaze from it and lets out a heavy sigh. You're quite right, and I apologize. Oh, well, shit. Can you butt out now from now on? She takes her hands from mine and nods in agreement. Thank you. Did we not have this conversation once about Rupert? I believe so. Though we were much younger then, and it was I trying to dissuade you. We were young, weren't we? Her smile falters a little as painful memories obviously creep into her. You truly loved him, didn't you? I did not think to fall in love as much as I did. It was a foolish young fancy at the beginning, after all. To fall for a scoundrel is the most hellish of things, Rose. I cannot recommend it. Suddenly I understand why she is so intent on my behalf. Rupert was not an ideal husband, even if their affections were true. I thought being older would give us much more freedom in choosing our lives. I only wish you to be happy, Rose, and secure. I know. And I have little to do now but interfere with your life, as I have little to do in my own. That's a vibe. We should retire for the evening. I'd very much like to take a walk in the park in the morning. And the earlier we are, the more people we shall meet. Ew. I don't want to meet people. I don't want more people to meet. Ew. Unless I run into my man again, and then we go on a walk, and we're like, oh my gosh, we want another walk with him. Oh. I nod at her, and we move towards the door when she suddenly pauses and glances over her shoulder at me. May I ask? She frowns before continuing. There's truly something beginning between you and Stanton. I should not deny that I hope there is. I barely know myself. My business is my own. I should not... I don't know. Let's just say I barely know. I mean, yeah. The heart is often the hardest thing to know or to predict. Suppose we all can do is follow it where we wish to. Okay. Wow. That was a lot of drama. That was a lot of drama. I will continue this in another one, and I promise it won't be like months from now. I'm going to save it right here. I'm going to save it right here, and I will see you guys in the next... Excuse me. That was a nice burp. I'll see you guys in the next part. Bye-bye.